This hike right here kind of sucks. This is one of the most famous spots in the Italian Dolomites, and it's not on this list of best hikes in the Dolomites. I'll explain why towards the end of the video, but instead I've got a few other unbelievable, once-in-a-lifetime, amazing hikes on this list.
That's wild.
In no particular order, we're starting off with one of the most majestic mountain huts in the Dolomites. You're gonna hike to this spot, dangling on the edge of a cliff. And at the top, you're gonna have a wonderful bowl of pasta to reward you for your efforts. This is Rifugio Nuvolau. It's located right here, just off Passo Gai. So this is Cortina. This is where I recommend you stay. This is like the main city in the area. The Olympics will partially be here in 2026.
The host is Milano Cortina.
And it's a 28-minute drive up beautiful, unbelievable, winding mountain roads to get there. I mean, that alone is a really cool adventure. These are the type of roads that they like film car commercials on and stuff. Like, it's awesome to drive up this mountain. The moment this hike starts, it's a unique foreign landscape with giant peaks in front of you as you weave your way through Dolomite boulders sticking out of the ground like fragments of a prehistoric explosion. You're gonna hike, I recommend, clockwise around this big peak, and then you're gonna see this, Rifugio Averau. You're gonna hike up to the top, and then this amazing view will reveal itself, all right? Now, you're not done your hike yet. It's gonna get better, but stop here for a few moments and enjoy this great view, because it really is beautiful. But then you're going to turn to your right, and this is where you're going to hike up to Nuvolau, this amazing hut dangling on a peak. It looks scary from one side. From the other side, as you can see, it's just this like straight, steep incline as you climb your way up to the top. And then when you get there, this is your view. Everywhere you look, there's like these Dolomite rocks exploding out of the earth. It is absolutely beautiful. And the best part is, this mountain hut serves wine and food, and it's amazing pasta. I had some sort of rabbit pasta, and it was very good. Had a glass of wine, and I just took in the views. 360 degrees of unbelievable views, no matter where you turn. And if you're worried that this is going to be too hard from you, I mean, 75-year-old Italian dudes were passing me on the way up, okay? It's not that difficult of a hike. Just go slow and take your time and reward yourself when you get to the top. Now, this spot right here is Instagram famous, okay? We will talk about that coming up, but there's something you need to know to make sure your photos don't suck. That is on the way, but first, let's hike in front of Tre Cime through some World War I caves. One of my absolute favorite hikes in the Dolomites is this region right here. It's in front of the iconic Tre Cime peaks, okay? It's a very beginner via Farrata through World War I tunnels and to the peak of Monte Paterno. Seriously? Okay, most people show up and they do this one like very basic hike around the three peaks, which is nice. It gives you this view, but like every hike you do gives you this view. Instead, do something a little bit more adventurous, okay? Look for this trail right here on AllTrails. This hike is going to start at the parking lot in the Tre Cime National Park. You start by walking on the backside of Tre Cime, okay? And then to this little tiny church right here, which is like, I don't even know who built this church or why, but what an amazing spot. It's got to be the most beautiful church location-wise in the world, okay? And then you're going to get to Rifugio Laverado, and it's going to go around to the other side, and that's where you get to here, okay? Now, the hike is just starting at this point. This is going to lead you up to another mountain hut called, in German on most maps, Dreisunenhütte. Okay, that's my best attempt at German. It is beautiful too. Like, everything is beautiful around here. You get up there and then this reveals itself. It's absolutely beautiful. Take your time, enjoy it. But now the Via Ferrata starts, okay? You can rent Via Ferrata gear for about $25 in Cortina. It just kind of hooks you into the iron rods that are in the mountain. So this part starts by going through this incredibly dark tunnel that was dug out during World War I. People say bring a flashlight, but honestly, your cell phone camera light will work just fine. Look out for this little offshoot in these tunnels because it gives you this view of Tre Cime, which is just fantastic. What an unbelievable thing to see. It was so cool being there, honestly. So this is the start of the actual Via Ferrata spot where you hook yourself in and you climb up. It's not too bad. It really isn't. And then you get up to this spot and you turn, and this part goes up to Monte Paterno, the peak. Now, fair warning, I didn't do this part anyway, because this was day 12 of me hiking, and I was just gassed. I was exhausted. But this is some other video I found on YouTube of people up at the peak. Okay, so this is what it would look like. Really cool. But even if you skip this part like I did, it's still such an awesome hike because from here, you go on to this spot where it's on the edge of a cliff, but it's wide enough that like it's still safe. And it's just a really cool hike to walk around on the sides of this cliff in front of these massive, majestic Dolomite cliffs all around you. It was such a cool hike. And then you keep going, and eventually it's going to dump you right back out near where you started at Rifugio Averau right here. Now, here is a bonus tip for you, okay? Don't just go back to the parking lot here. If you still have some energy left, you're going to see right in front of the towers this little offshoot path right here, okay? This is worth doing because it's not really an extra hike. It's just a little path, and it gives you these incredible views of the valley, incredible views of these mountains in the back, and there's these war memorials that were built here to pay tribute to the soldiers who died during World War I. Also, you might see some cattle. These cows were trying to have sex as I was walking by. I think I spoiled the mood. But just a really cool experience to just take that little offshoot and get some cool photos in right down here. So this is like beside kind of where the church is. And now it's time for the new super famous hit spot in the Dolomites. You're seeing this all over social media. Everyone's doing this shot right here, okay? This is how you get there. It's in the exact same spot as the hike we just talked about. So this is Tre Cime. In behind this is that hike, okay? So I told you that little offshoot here that you walk on, well, these mountains are the same mountains as this shot right here. So you're gonna park in the exact same spot in Tre Cime National Park at this mountain hut right here, but instead of going to the east around the three peaks, you're actually gonna head south down here. It's not a long hike, and it's not that hard of a hike, okay? It's like, 2.5 miles? It's pretty straightforward. Just gonna hike south, which goes uphill. You're gonna go like around a little cliff. It's gonna look like this, and then you're gonna get to this spot right here. Here's a tip that I haven't seen anyone tell you about, okay? So you have to get the lighting right for good photos. You really, like the sun, the position of the sun in your camera matters a lot. Early morning, right when the sun's coming up, you get the best light on these peaks, and same with when the sun is setting, okay? Because this is south, you're gonna get light from the east and light from the west, but as the sun goes around, there is a lot of shadows that are cast into this area. It does spend a good part of the day in shadows. It's just not gonna look that great. Also, it does get hazy in like midsummer in this region a lot of the times on hot days. So it's best to go golden hour or early in the morning, right after the sun has risen, and you're gonna get beautiful light just softly, gently illuminating these mountains. That is the absolute best time to go. Okay, finally, I wanna talk about this right here, okay? Because this is an iconic spot in the Dolomites, and it's not a good hike. It really isn't. So this is Seceda. It's located right here, kind of like an hour away from Alpi di Susi on like the northern east part of the Dolomites. The Dolomites are huge. Okay, it's hard to do everything in one trip, so pick a region. But it's not a great hike. So here's how it works. You take the cable car all the way up, and you get off at this restaurant. You hike like around the corner. It's like a minute, 60-second walk, and then you get this right here. And this is me standing on this cliff, and it's majestic, and it's beautiful, and it's awesome, and you should definitely go. But aside from that, there's not much in the way of hiking in this area. As you can see here, there is a path, and you can follow that path, but the best view is at the start, where you just were, where you just took the cable car to. The view only gets slightly not as good as you keep going. And if you look on AllTrails, like You can't hike in a big circle for 10 kilometers, but like I said, like you start walking and you go, oh man, we're walking away from the cool view. And then you just end up back where you started. I wouldn't recommend it for a hike, to be honest with you. Instead, here's what you do. The crowds are crazy. So get up there early in the morning, get your view, get your photos, and then head back down. And this whole area is filled with these wonderful, beautiful, tiny little Italian villages. Go find some local restaurant somewhere where the people don't even speak English and get some Italian food. That's the best way to do it. Go live in and explore authentic Italy away from the tourist areas with the rest of your day, okay? So those are the hikes I want to tell you about. There's other awesome hikes. I just didn't do them, so I didn't really want to talk about them. Just keep Googling. You'll find more. Also, go on a binge-watching journey of this channel. Every time I go somewhere new, I try and make some videos. I hope you enjoyed it. Ciao.